I like to think of two sides of capturing your images. There's the technical side, and there's the creative side. This video segment will discuss the technical things I want to pay attention to when I'm shooting, and I'll try to demonstrate with good and bad examples. And believe me, everyone has bad examples. Let's talk about light first. Basically, you want to be able to see the scene, and you want it to look normal. Your phone's camera app will default to automatic exposure. This means it tries to pick the right light level to make a good picture. And for some scenes, ones that are evenly lit, outdoors with plenty of light, it may be just fine. But when you're shooting, you want to control the images. Remember that you are the storyteller, not the camera's brain. This is where you turn off the automatic mode and use manual controls. Most camera apps have some method to do this for exposure. For instance, a scene like this with a mix of bright and dark areas can confuse the camera. It really doesn't know what's important to me. So I will try to make the scene a little darker or lighter using the manual controls to tweak the camera settings. Most apps let you point to a place in the scene that you want to be properly exposed or have the right light level. And they may let you lock on that spot. I often try different points to see if I can get it close. You may also be able to tweak it a little with some sort of control, like this slider. You'll want to learn your own camera app, of course. But the camera controls are only part of your solution. Think about your body as well. Here's a scene with lots of contrast, dark and light areas. Notice that the sun is behind the performers. Sometimes that makes a nice effect, but what if I move myself rather than playing with the camera controls? Now the sun is at my back, the performers are evenly lit, and I think the shot turns out much better. I'm always complaining that I have a hard time focusing in my life. Well, not so much with my camera. And my first rule is, do it. Take charge of the focus like you took charge of the exposure. What's most important? Is it the background or something closer? The camera may not know what you want to emphasize in a scene. In this app, it's another tap to tell the camera where you want to focus. If you're snapping still images, that should be enough. Be sure to keep it steady. You can also get blurry images if you move the camera while you're taking the picture. This is especially true if you're shooting in a place without much light. The camera tries to let more light in, and you get this. Try to shoot when your subject is still, not moving rapidly. Hold your camera steady with two hands. Snap the image, but be sure the camera's finished with its business. Some devices have a little lag as you push the button. A lot of this is just being sure you know how your camera behaves and being comfortable with it. I think of a craftsman who has a favorite hammer or a musician's instrument. A phone or camera can also get that way as you use it. Your phone won't last as long as a Stradivarius, but you know where your apps are. It makes me more nervous if I'm concerned about my camera and all of the buttons. I like to take time to practice around the house or office or neighborhood, someplace I don't feel any pressure to be perfect or fast. Finally, if you're old enough to remember what it was like to shoot film in a traditional camera, you may remember thinking about whether or not you'd have enough shots on the roll. This doesn't apply much anymore. But did you remember to be sure you have enough room on your device? If you're a movie or music fan and you have a small capacity phone, check first. Nothing's more frustrating than seeing a unique story pass by while you delete photos and videos. All of this is stuff I've experienced, believe me. Next, we'll talk about the creative side of getting your still images.